gosh. Wait, let me take a good look at you all. Yes. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Winnipeg Comedy Festival. My name is Abba Mukwando, and I know what you're thinking, and no, my Nigerian parents did not name me after a group of 4 Swedish people, okay? My name, Abba, it's actually an abbreviation, okay? It's short for something. It's short for abandoned, because I rarely finish what I start. You may know me as the newest cast member on This Hour Has 22 Minutes. Thank you, yes, this is where you applaud generously. Whether you have seen the show or not, I'll wait. The theme of this gala is homeowners. To buy or to rent? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer and live in constant insecurity without the privilege of building equity and generational wealth, assuming one's tragic place on the lower end of the spectrum of the widening wealth gap that is virtually impossible to narrow despite hard work and much passing of time. Actually, that doesn't sound like a question at all. Thank you. Thank you. No, stop. Thank you. I am a millennial. I have a degree from the University of Toronto, majoring in dramatic arts and minoring in living with roommates. So I have some stories. Once a year, my girlfriends and I get together and we drink wine while we talk about our past relationships, you know, raunchy, nasty stories about Alberto, Mario, Taylor, and Michelle, our most memorable landlords. Then we gather around a fire pit and burn pictures of homes we'll never own. Things are not shaping up like the fairy tale life I was promised as a child. Okay, Cinderella had mice who dressed her up in a ball gown and sent her off to a royal party. I have rats who have memorized my daily routine and think that I am the one with boundary issues. One time, after telling a landlord we had cockroaches, he came over and gave us a can of Raid, okay? And when the problem persisted and we continued to complain, he said, I guess they're just your new tenants. Yeah, cool. You go after them for the rent then. Go after them. Also, you know that hole in the wall halfway down the staircase from 3 a.m. last week with red wine stains around it in the shape of me? I think that was them too. Some women my age live in very, very nice places, financed by sugar daddies. It's a real option for beautiful young ladies like myself these days. You know? Oh my God, thank you. You don't have to stop it. 10 people think I'm hot. I'm single, sorry, okay. But it is an option, you know? Living in a rotting old house versus sharing a bed with a really old rich man, whatever makes you throw up less, I guess. I, for one, could never stomach gargling down an old man's denture solution by accident. Do I actually want to own a home? I mean, I gotta think about it. I might need some rest between paying thousands in interest for student debt and paying thousands in interest for mortgage debt. My mother recently suggested that she and I buy a house together. She told me she's been alone for several years now, and that she would like more human connection, and it's time to move on with her life. Do I want to be someone who lives with her mom? Like, I've met people who live with their parents. It seems like a lot of work. The endless hours spent explaining to people that you're not a loser. Also, who's my dad gonna live with? Who knows what life will bring me, you know? Maybe someday I'll meet a special someone, they'll say, Abba, there is no one like you. And I'll never meet anyone better, as you've said all along. Marry me. Then I'll say yes. And then at least then, I will own a person. So what do you say, Winnipeg? Should we get on with the show? Let's get on with the show then! Most residents of Toronto barely know their neighbors. That means if you live next to this comedian, you're probably missing out. Here's your friendly neighborhood funny man, Leonard Chan.
Nice. Nice. This is awesome. So my wife and I just bought a house in Toronto. Thank you. It's great. We moved from a tiny apartment to a house, which is fantastic because now nobody thinks it's weird anymore that I own a chainsaw. So we bought a house in Toronto, and unless you've been living under a rock, you would know that Toronto is one of the least affordable real estate markets in the world. Like, living under a rock costs $2,700 a month, not including utilities. But look, like, home ownership in Toronto is so unrelatable, I had to come all the way to Winnipeg to talk about it. Now, just so there's no confusion, look, I know that's my name up there in big letters, but I am not that successful of a comedian, all right? Like, I'm not house in Toronto successful. I'm like basement apartment in Saskatoon successful. I had a career before comedy, all right? I have 2 degrees in engineering. Now, I'm not bragging, just trying to give you some context so you understand why my parents are so sad. No, I worked for a long time. I know, like, you can't tell because you're mostly white, but I'm 73 years old. And I could afford a house in Toronto because I worked as an engineer for 67 years. But man, it was hard. It was hard to buy a place because, like, my wife and I had all these things that we wouldn't compromise on. My wife was like, I need a backyard. And I was like, well, I need a garage. And our real estate agent was like, well, you will need $2 million. Man, it was brutal. We went to so many open houses. I ate so many tiny sandwiches. And like every time we found a house we liked, we got outbid by somebody who would bring a suitcase full of cash that was clearly smuggled out of a communist country. And I was getting so frustrated. I was like, yo, I'm just an Asian trying to buy a house, and I can't because of all these goddamn Asians buying houses. Man. So we finally moved. We moved, and now we had a lot of extra room, so the first thing we bought was a king-size mattress. So my wife and I could live out our fantasy of never having to touch each other again. My wife, she picked out an organic memory foam mattress. Which is my way of telling you I married a white woman. But here's the thing, everything about home ownership is expensive because when you own all the problems, you know? It gets different when you rent. When I was renting, like the water pipe burst in the ceiling caved in, water spraying everywhere, and I was like, whoa, that is a huge problem for the landlord. We got carpenter ants. Yeah, right? It's terrible. And you know, like my wife and I, we're those like crazy people who will safely escort a spider out of the house. You can't do that with carpenter ants. You know, these little bastards are turning my house into a Mandarin buffet. I was like, no, we gotta kill them all. All right? It's genocide for the greater good. Which is like the most Chinese thing I'm gonna say tonight. Don't judge, Canada. But it's not just money, all right? Like, owning a house is a lot of work. Because apparently, after you buy a house, according to my parents, you're supposed to clean the house. Which, I mean, we don't, but you're supposed to, you know? And look, in our defense, my wife and I are just very busy people with stressful lives, all right? Like, my wife works 12 hours a day at a vet clinic saving animal lives. And, like, dick jokes don't write themselves. You know? But my parents, they're like, listen, if your lives are so busy and stressful, just hire a maid. So they recommended this lovely Portuguese lady who would come by. She would lift up the refrigerator with one arm, clean with the other. You know, brought some like homemade small batch artisanal window cleaner. And then when she was done, she would go back to my parents and report on how filthy the place was when she first got there. She was a spy. And now our lives are even more busy and stressful because now every time the maid came over, we had to clean for the maid. So we replaced her with a Roomba. Yeah, can't clean out of the fridge, but it ain't no snitch. But no, I mentioned I was an engineer. I was actually an environmental engineer. And I spent 67 years trying to save the world. And it went so well, I became a comedian. Like, guys, we are all on the Titanic right now. We're all on the Titanic. And I'm tired of being the goddamn engineer trying to keep this ship afloat. I'm gonna be the violinist playing us all the way down. Like, this earth is our collective home. We're treating it like we rent when we own. And we gotta do better. We have to do better. Because look, I just moved. I cannot do it again. I don't want to do it again. You know how hard it was to find a new house? You know how hard it's gonna be to find a new planet? I don't know any other planets which are the perfect distance away from the sun to sustain human life. Do you? Ugh. Look, all I know is this. When it comes to finding, habitable planets, the rules are the same as real estate and the female orgasm. Location, location, location. You guys have been amazing. Thank you guys so much.
Your next act resides across the ocean, and his name is Paul Meerhog. In Europe, though, they pronounce his name with disdain because they assume he's American. Please welcome Paul Meerhog.
Hello, Winnipeg. How are we? Are you all right? You good? You good? Are you good? You're good. Listen up here, Winnipeg. The first sentence I'm gonna say is gonna sound pretentious, okay? A little bit of a brag, a little bit of a flex, but don't worry about it. I am a homeowner in the south of France, everybody. Ooh. Now, I'm sure you're thinking about the south of France. You're probably thinking about the Italian side of the Mediterranean. Some of the most expensive property in the world, okay? You got Cannes, you got Nice, you got Monaco. I don't live there. I live on the Spanish side of the South, okay? They call it the dirty South, all right? It's the redneck side. They drive pickup trucks, they hunt, the right-wing government's in charge, they're anti-maskers. Basically, I live in the Red Deer of the Riviera, okay? Reasonable house property value, okay? Now here's the rub. I bought a house 3 years ago, and I only just took possession this year. I'm sure you're wondering why, and I'm gonna tell you. In France, they have a mortgage called a viager, okay? If you don't know what a viager is, what it is an elderly person is struggling in their retirement. They need supplemental income. So through the banks, they put their house up for sale, and a young couple like us will offer them money for it, okay? You make a small down payment, and then you make monthly payments directly to the old person, and they keep possession of their house until they die. It is exactly what you think it is. The French banks have come up with some sadistic death pool where you get to gamble on the lives of the elderly. And I'm loving it. Now, when I'm hunting for houses in Canada, usually I'm concerned with the house, the structure, right? How's the foundation? Are there any cracks in the windows? I found myself not giving a flying monkey's butt about the house, okay? I'm more concerned about the condition of the old person selling it, right? You know, I'm looking at skin hue, I'm like, okay, yeah, okay. I can work, that's a nice gray hue, I like that, that's all right. Yeah. I'm not looking out the windows, I'm in the medicine cabinet looking at prescriptions, you know, what do we got here? Oh yeah, oh, blood thinners, honey, we got blood thinners! Woo! Jackpot, blood thinners! We settled on a house. We bought one. I'll always remember seeing it for the first time, okay? Because my missus and I pulled up in the truck, and she said, there it is, Mon Amour. That's the exterior. What do you think? You know, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I hated it. It was an ugly house. And then the front door opened, and a walker came through. And I was like, I bloody love it. I just got a feeling, you know? I got a feeling. I just have a connection with this one. And that's where I met my old person, Jacques, okay? And I don't know what to call, I call him my rescue. I have a rescue, so, but you gotta be careful. See, old people pretend to be slow. They're really not, okay? They're crafty. I bought the house, I went to go check on Jacques about a month later, and that walker, gone, no longer in the picture. Huh? That's been replaced by a bicycle, okay? Son of a gun looks like he's in a shampoo commercial. He's so healthy, right? I'm gonna say something sad now, okay? At the beginning of this story, I told you that I took possession of that house, all right? Now, Jacques, my dear friend, the banks wanted us to become friends, and we did. We truly did. I went and visited him every week. We had croissants. He told me stories about the property. I love this man. He was 96, and he passed away. Jacques passed away, okay? And that's a sad thing. But as comics, it's our jobs to find the joy in sad things, you know? So I became such good friends with Jacques that his family invited me to the funeral. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Okay. But it was the pandemic, so of course you couldn't go to a funeral. You had to do a Zoom funeral. Did anybody get a chance to go to a Zoom funeral? Huh? It's not too late. Go immediately. You should do it. It's amazing, because Jacques was 96. That means the other people attending the funeral were of the same age group. And they would recognize another old person that they knew in one of the boxes, and they'd be like, Mary! Pierre! And they would continue to have a conversation like they were the only two people in the world. Bowel movements, you know? How did you know Jacques? I had an affair with him in the war, you know? Listen, Winnipeg, you have been a delight. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the show. We'll see you again.
This comedian has a home most people would call new, if most people were geologists. Please welcome Heidi Fos.
How you guys doing? Okay. So I bought an old house. Old houses are stressful. Yep. Every week something breaks and you go to fix it, you uncover something worse. I went to change a faucet, the pipe burst, and my neighbor's pool started going down. How are those things connected? Turns out through a series of underground pipes that I now have to replace. Old houses should come with a Surgeon General's warning. The purchase of this house could cause a major heart attack or stroke. I had an echocardiogram done on my heart. The doctor looked at the results and said, "Are you a smoker?" I said, "No, I own an old house." He said, "Oh, no wonder. Maybe you should take up smoking." I wanted to buy a house I could grow old in. I just didn't think I'd grow old so quickly. And the stairs creak, but each one in a different tone. So if you walk up and you hit the right stair in the right rhythm, you can play a tune. Last week I fell down the stairs to Beethoven's Fifth. Kitchen is cold and drafty. Last winter we went through a cold snap and the dishwasher completely froze and stopped working. So we had to hire a new one. Some people like to sing in the shower. I like to do stand-up, which really disturbed my Zoom audience. I hate doing Zoom shows because you're doing stand-up in your own house. And if you bomb, you don't want to go back into that room because you're reminded that you just bombed in there. If I bomb in a room, I'm never going back in that room. I'm condemning that room. I've done 10 Zoom shows, I'm down to 1 room. Now I have to live out of the pantry. And the internet keeps going out, which I hate, you know, because you're at the mercy of the service provider to show up whenever they damn well please to fix it. I actually did a live show for the employees and staff of Rogers. I didn't give them an exact time. I just told them I'd be there anywhere between 5 and 9. And the house is challenging to clean. So I got Marie Kondo's book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. In it, she writes, you should only keep things which spark joy. So I threw it out. We have critters in the house. You can hear them in the walls. Last Christmas, it was my turn to put up the Christmas tree. So I go down to the basement, and I find an old box of ornaments, and there was a dead mouse inside. And it looked terrible on the tree. It was just like, oh my God. And I've heard there are coyotes in the area, but I'm comforted by this. Apparently, you're more likely to be killed by a flying champagne cork than you are by a pack of coyotes, unless the coyotes are celebrating. But we live by the water, and we've been flooded twice in 3 years. Yeah, I wouldn't call myself a flood victim or anything, because, I don't know, can you be a flood victim and a dyke at the same time? Yeah. Look, you're either taking water on or you're holding it back. You can't do both. Okay. But the first time the house flooded, I went to Home Depot to find a pump, right? Just running to Home Depot to find a pump. And I don't know what I'm doing. I've never bought a pump before, right? So I asked the guy, I'm like, does this thing just connect to a garden hose? And he's like, I don't know, I'm in the lumber department. I ask another guy, he's like, I'm in hardware. I ask another guy, he's like, I'm in windows and doors. Finally, 45 minutes later, the guy from the pump department finally shows up. He's like, can I help you? I'm like, well, it's too late now. My house is already flooded. I don't need the pump anymore. I get home, I go downstairs, I find a foot of water in my basement. To make matters worse, as I'm walking up with a bucket in each hand, the stairs start playing Row, Row, Row Your Boat. That's when I had a heart attack and started smoking. You guys are outstanding. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you.
This next comedian has spirits in his home. Vodka, gin, whiskey, rum, tequila, and of course, bitters, short for bittersweet feelings about his mortgage payments. Please welcome Vishal Romesh.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, Winnipeg. How are you guys? So I am Vishal Romesh, and yes, before you ask, I am good at both computers and maths. As some of you can say, I'm pretty new to Canada. Sometimes here they call me a visible minority. I keep thinking about the guy who actually came up with that word. He must be really scared of minorities. He was probably walking down the street in a pretty diverse part of town one fine day, and he sees a lot of people, and he thinks to himself, wow, there are a lot of minorities here. What I see are just the visible ones. There must be a lot more invisible ones that are missing my eyes right now. But most of you can probably say that I have an accent, yeah. But what you guys can't say is that I am also a first-time home buyer in Toronto. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, peasants. But you know what? They say it's impossible to buy a house in Toronto's market right now, but I'm here to tell you that's not true. If you just put your mind to it and steal some money from your parents, anything is possible. Like they say, right, where there is a will with your name on it, there is a way. Also, my condo is in like right downtown part of Toronto. It's called the Financial District. And for those of you who don't know where the Financial District is, it's that part of Toronto where there are like all like tall buildings, right? And for some reason, they're all shiny black in color. The outside of the building is shiny black. You get inside the building, the concierge desk is shiny black. You get into your unit, your refrigerator is shiny black. Your dishwasher is shiny black. The security guard outside is a really nice guy. And you know, in real estate, a lot of people give you a lot of advice, right? Like one advice I got the most is that in real estate, location is everything. But that's not true. I think in real estate, money is everything. If you have the money, the location usually follows. And it's amazing how they advertise something as being in a good location, right? They say it's steps away from this, steps away from that. And my condo was advertised as it's steps away from streetcar and a Second Cup Cafe. And Second Cup Cafe, this is a company that doesn't have too much confidence in its own product. They even call themselves a second cup, right? Like you wake up in the morning, you want to have that first good cup of coffee. We are not the guys. You want to have a second cup you don't care much about? Think about us. And actually, the worst part about buying a house is actually going to house showings, right? I hate that, right? My wife actually doesn't like taking me to house showings, right? Because there is a pressure when you go to house showings as the man of the house. You're supposed to ask like really intelligent questions, right? Like questions like, does your pipes have lead in them? Is this asbestos? Is your boiler rented, owned? Things like that, right? But when people ask me if I have any question, the only question I can think of is, are you sure this house is not haunted? I have an irrational fear about ghosts, first of all, right? It's irrational because I know a ghost would never haunt my piece of crap 600 square foot condo. Because ghosts have standards. Have you seen movies? They only go for castles and mansions. Like a multi-family, fully detached unit is the least a ghost would go for. You would never see movies where there's a guy in his studio apartment eating ramen noodles, watching television on a rainy day, and then he hears a creak. And then there's a girl who comes out, her hair is all down, she's wearing a white gown. And if it was me, I would be like, holy crap, I didn't know there was so much extra storage space there. I can easily fit 2 large suitcases. Anyway, that's my time. My name is Vishal Romesh. You guys have been awesome.
She's got a smoke detector, a carbon monoxide detector, and most importantly, a bullshit detector. Please welcome Nikki Payne.
All I wanted was some pot lighting on my porch. It's an easy ask, isn't it? Just a little pot lights with pretty little pot lights. Pretty little pot lights. Nothing go wrong with little pot lights. Here's little pot lights. My roof peeks over the porch. It's very pretty. And once they got working on it, very rotten. It's gonna be a little bit more than pot lights. Did you know, I don't know if you know this or not, but when a contractor tells you that you'll have a new roof in about a month, what he really means is you'll have it once you've lost your mind. Approximately 5 months. Your phone calls to the contractor start sounding more like a girlfriend stalker. Why aren't you answering my messages, Jim? You said you'd come by on Thursday. I waited all day, Jim. I won't be ignored, Jim. I should have asked, are there any contractors in the audience tonight? You might be offended. I wish I could ask, why? Why can't they answer the phone? You're too busy? Here's an idea. Contract someone to do it. It's in your name. It's kind of your specialty. And exactly how? Just if somebody could answer me this, I would be satisfied, okay? Exactly why are you too busy? Because you can't work in the rain. The supplies haven't arrived. The concrete hasn't dried. The hammer broke. Seems like the only thing that you can get done most days is answering the goddamn telephone! Home improvement or home building turns you into a crazy stalker person. These days, I find myself driving slowly past the house, past the construction site, to see what's done. Hi, Jim. I was outside the house last night. I didn't see you installing anything. I'm watching from across the street. You start making repeated phone calls, begging for their attention. You can't spend time with your family. I don't have a roof. Like a romantic relationship, right? When you've got a friend that's in a bad relationship, you're like, well, leave him, right? Dump him. I can't. I need him to fix my roof. Finally, I was like, screw it, I'll do it myself. I'm an independent woman. I'm smart. I can do it. So I went to YouTube, because that's what you do. You YouTube, right? I put in how to replace the portion of roof over the porch, and I found a video. I found one. In the very beginning of the video, it says, do not do this without a professional. Then why are you showing me how to do it on YouTube? Don't show somebody how to do something and then tell them not to do it. They're gonna do it. But, you know, I watched like 5 minutes of it, and I was like, I can't do that. I tell poo jokes. I have no skills. Why didn't I get a trade? It would have been so easy to get a trade. Kids out there, kids in TV land, because you know the kids, they love watching the CBC comedies. All you kids that want to be comedians, gather round. Get a trade. Get a trade because you can't poo joke a roof back on.
This performer once made a 4-bedroom home by hand. And shortly after, he also demolished it by hand. It's easy come, easy go in Legoland. Here's Pete Zedlacker.
Hello, Winnipeg! Oh, it's a celebration tonight. It feels good. I recently just bought and renovated my very first home. Thank you very much. Yes, I know. I'll be honest. When I say I renovated my home, I mean I hired real men to come in and renovate my home for me. I have no skills, right? I just showed up every day. I wanted to help. Just showed up, like, you guys need a hand with anything? No? You want me to get out of here? Okay. They said they didn't want me to damage my check writing hand, they said. It's all e-transfers now, right? You learn a lot from a home renovation. I don't know if you've done this, but I've learned that there are 750 different shades of white paint. You knew this? I thought there was like 3, maybe 4, like white and off-white, and maybe like bright white. And then like the brightest white you could get would be like Trump rally. Like you can't get any whiter than that. That's the whitest you can go. You can't get any whiter than Trump rally. Ooh, it's getting political. Yes, I hired real men to come in and renovate my home, and my partner designed it all, and I was just the idiot, just signing checks, going, I can watch this all happen, I guess, around me. She had a real eye for it, right? And I don't like when comedians come on stage and they say, women are like this and men do it this way, and it's not true, but this has a little bit of credence here. Okay. I believe that women are, can be so vague with their decisiveness sometimes, and then laser-focused decisive on other issues, right? Okay? Like, we'll have conversations, hey, what do you want to do for dinner tonight? Oh, it doesn't matter, whatever you want. Okay, did you want to go see a movie tonight? Sure. What do you want to see? It doesn't matter to me. All right. What do you want to do with the spare bedroom? Okay, it's not a spare bedroom, it's an office. This wall is going to have shelving. Shelving is going to match the crown molding, but the paint is going to match the baseboards. Area rug is going to be 14 by 10, which is going to have colors that match the baseboards, the crown molding, the shelves, and the wall. And it's also going to match the furniture, which I've pre-ordered. It's just waiting for your credit card. What did you want on your pizza? Doesn't matter, I don't care, it's fine. I bought new appliances for my home. I don't know if you've bought appliances in the last few years, but they come with all the bells and whistles now, literally. They have alarms on them to let you know that they're done their job, right? So I bought a washing machine, right? And I bought what I thought was a stove or an oven, and it's now called a range. I said to the guy, I'm looking for a stove, and he's like, oh, a range? I'm like, okay. It's got the 4 things on top and the door, hot room, yeah, it's range. And they come with alarms to let you know they're done. Okay, so I'm gonna do an impression for you. This is the alarm to let you know that the washing machine has done its cycle. So if I remember how the alarm goes, it goes, that's the first stanza. Okay. About 17 minutes of this, way beyond. There is no need to be that alarmed that the washing machine is done. I have a stove, I have an oven, I have a range that has a self-cleaning mechanism that can go to 500 degrees Fahrenheit, okay? I should not be in charge of anything that goes to 500 degrees Fahrenheit, okay? This is the alarm. This is the alarm to let you know that it's hit 500 degrees Fahrenheit. See if I remember how that alarm goes. It goes, bloop. That's just. Do you see how they got them backwards? Like the dangerous one should have the hey, hey, hey. Instead, I get a Broadway musical on this. Like, your socks are clean, socks are clean, socks are clean, socks are clean. Meanwhile, I got a weapon of mass destruction in my kitchen. I saw the most Canadian thing ever while I was doing my home renovation. Most Canadian thing I've ever seen in my life happened at the Home Depot. Okay, so I'm at the Home Depot and I'm looking at appliances, right? And from 6 aisles over, this is what I hear from 6 aisles over inside the Home Depot. Oh, you gotta be kidding me! And then the sound of crashing and then metal hitting concrete and plastic exploding. And my first reaction to hearing that was like, oh, let's go see. Which in itself is a very Canadian reaction, right? So I get 6 aisles over and I discover the source of the sound. It's a guy, and we pieced it together afterwards. We figured out what happened. He had ordered something from the Home Depot website. It arrived, it was the wrong thing, so he returned it to the store, hoping to get the thing that he needed from the store, but he discovered, no, it's only available online, not available in the store, and something just snapped in his head, okay? He got mad. He got mad in such a way that he kicked over a display, okay? He kicked over a display, it came crashing down, and all the packages exploded. But by the time I got over 6 aisles over, he had already picked up the rack and was putting the packages back on the rack, okay? He was having a meltdown, a full-on meltdown, but a full-on Canadian meltdown. Just, you gotta be kidding me! 3 times during this damn renovation, you gotta be kidding me! I went and ordered it online, it's a stupid damn thing. Come on, man! Get your act together! People 3 times on the thing. Friggin' kidding me? 3 times? 3 times? The single most Canadian thing I've ever seen, right? We're mad, but we're polite about it. That's what it means to be Canadian. Thank you so much, Winnipeg. What a blast. Oh, you're the best. Good night, everybody.
Well, that's our Home Moaner show. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Wherever you're going tonight, the house you own, the condo you rent, or the treehouse you're squatting in, like me, get home safe. Good night.